It's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Noreen.
Hey.
Hey, Sarah. Today we're talking about when spirits attack the living, spirits and phantoms. I know, right?
Well, it's always fun.
Or you can sit here and look awkwardly at each other if you really want to, but I don't
We
think
don't want to do that.
Now, Ian, before you were telling me it only happened to you once?
Yeah, well, this was about, say, about 8 years ago. It was our most active case to date.
Wow.
And what we were dealing with was a house that was built on the site of where a children's workhouse used to be. And there was 2 adults who ran the place. There was a total of 33 kids there. And an older child, an older female who had obviously she passed on, but came back to look after the younger kids. But they didn't like the fact we were there, the 2 adult ones, and they decided to stab me in the back, which quite painful, but I was shocked more than anything, and it just made me laugh, which was probably the best reaction I could have had. So, but luckily that's the only one I've ever had, and but it ached for about 2 weeks afterwards.
Wow.
But
I mean, I've heard many people get scratches sometimes, and I don't think any of it's demonic like they keep saying all the time, but
nah, these 2 definitely weren't demonic. They were nasty bits of work, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do get them. I mean, when we were younger, my sister, she got chucked all over the house. Well, chucked all over the room.
Wow.
well,
I've been grabbed by the back of the neck. It was literally rooted to the spot when it felt like this huge hand had just grabbed me by the back of the neck. And when you literally freeze and you're stuck in a spot.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, enough about what you and your sister did to yourself.
Here's yourself, Ian.
Yeah, my brother would claim that it was all me, probably. But mind you, I just did some terrible things with my brother when he was younger because he used to drive me up the wall.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, as you do.
So, if anything threw me up against the wall, wasn't my brother, because I grew up a single child, so.
Oh, but people don't think it can happen, do they? When they go out and they provoke things.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much when it happened to me, I hadn't experienced anything like that, so I wasn't aware of it happening.
It's shocking.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was just stunned and like, what? But yeah, one of the mediums that we had on FaceTime, she shouted, "Warning, Ian, knife," and our medium went, "Too late."
Yeah. Yeah, now out to you, Eric.
Well, nothing's ever happened to me like that, but it probably will in the future when I get over there. I'm sure it's going to have to happen at least once.
Yeah. Well, it's not something you expect, though, is it?
Nah, I can certainly take your places here. It might happen.
Yeah. Well, that's fine with me, and I think a lot of it too, because I never met an imp here, but I think that's what most of the 3 scratches are when it happens to people, especially over there, because you think about it, like an imp would only have 3 claws, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Irene.
There's a very good possibility.
I mean, what's the scariest thing that anybody's ever seen?
What's the what?
The scariest thing that anybody's ever seen.
I would say when we had to deal with a possession, that was probably the freakiest thing for me. Mainly because I had just I was doing a course on possession and exorcism, and I just debunked one of the biggest cases going, and it was the one they based the exorcism of Emily Rose on.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
And I put it down to mental health. Two mental health, one triggering the other, and then we got this possession case, which I thought someone's trying to tell me not to dismiss it.
Oh wow, I'd like to hear that story one of these days too. Irene said I've been possessed twice, and it's no fun.
Well, it's no fun for the investigators trying to deal with it either. Trust me.
Well, that's another form of attack, isn't it? Possession. So,
Yeah. Well, that's extreme, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah. Neither did our client. The first thing she remembers is when our medium, who's a big lad, I mean, he's about 6'2",
yeah.
he actually had her pinned up against the door. So that's when she came to and was like, luckily her daughter explained to her what was going on, and she, okay.
Yeah.
You hear a loud noise soon. Okay. Sorry about that.
I mean, I've had it when I was did some meditation once, and well, I do it on a regular basis. But this one time, someone told me to do such and such a thing, so I've done it. And do you know when you go out and it's like something sticks its face in you? Literally, something is there in your face. You know it's there.
Yeah,
You don't open your eyes because you don't want to see it. But literally, I was zapped after that. It must have took a couple of days for me to come round with any energy whatsoever at all. And literally, it was zapped.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And then you hear about,
come in your field and just zap you.
and then you hear a lot about paranormal hangovers. I wonder if that's a kind of an attack too, on your energy.
Yeah. Text it a lot.
Well,
I mean, it's a case that now I like me and Brian when we went to that church, and we both said before, since we've been to that church, we have had nothing but luck. Literally, it's been every single thing that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
That's that one that you guys just visited, right? That Bryce said that it had there was no feeling whatsoever in there.
Yeah, there was.
There was?
Yeah, we could feel it. My phone was drained when we came out of there.
Wow.
Literally drained. There was nothing on it. We couldn't even get the sat nav up on it. We couldn't do nothing with it because it just wasn't. It was not playing. It was not playing.
Huh.
And after that, we come away from there, and for days I was getting the smell of graveyard flowers. The smell of graveyard flowers, and everything just went down the pan completely.
Wow.
that's bizarre. Well, even that's
Birds died. I had bleeding noses. I never had bleeding noses ever.
Huh.
I had bird die. I've had my dog die. I mean, the dog was probably of old age, but it's just one thing after the other, and it's just going on and on and on. It just doesn't need to stop.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it's very common for me and my team that when we've done a private case, with energy is just gone for days. It's I mean, our medium once when we dealt with that possession, I had to leave him alone for a month.
Wow. And it's kind of.
I think
Go ahead.
sometimes you just walk into things, can't you, without you don't even think, do you? you don't think, you think, oh, well, it's all right, just going. And sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know, when you go into a property, you never know what's in there, do you?
No, you don't know what's waiting now.
In some cases, you do find out.
Well, and that's why, and then I know this is not going on, well, when spirits attack and stuff, but it is kind of like when these people that just starting out think they can do what everybody else does professionally, you know, they get attacked and they're like, well, mess around and find out. You know, you keep doing it on YouTube and everything. Go ahead, keep doing that.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, we go out knowing, I mean, especially in your private case, we go out knowing that you are risking a lot every time you go on a case because you don't know what you're coming up against. You've just got to be on your high heels just to make sure that you're all right while you're there.
I mean, I think sometimes, I don't think sometimes even protection can help you. If you're going to do it, then it's going to do it.
Well, yeah, I think that protection can lessen the blow, can't it? But if they're determined.
Yeah.
Well, like this one case I was seeing on, and again, I talk about my favorite show, Paranormal Caught on Camera, because it's the only thing I watch. And this guy was getting glasses thrown at him. And I know you can't fake that because there's no way to pull strings like that. So,
and here we go again, advertising for my mate Brian.
Yeah, can't help it. I love that show. People don't realize how bad or how crazy it is. And if you go in there thinking you're Superman, you'll not see the daylight of tomorrow. Man, depends on where you go, imagine.
This is why you should go into a place and talk. Because you've got to respect what you're dealing with, and then they might respect you. It's no wonder people come off in a bad way. I mean, there's been deaths in the field that have happened under strange circumstances, and is it paranormal? We don't know, to be honest, but there is that possibility.
Well, only paranormal. And again, it goes back to my whole theory that things should be clearly defined in words. Paranormal only means not normal.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Well, that counts all of us then in a field, doesn't it? We're all paranormal.
I'm not normal, so I'm paranormal.
Normal's boring.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's boring. Got to be a bit mad, haven't you?
Well, it helps.
Yeah. Well, I think anywhere you go, here spirits are different, and they don't care if you think you are brave or not. And I think that's everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard swear words come through machines that shouldn't even have swear words in it.
Yeah. I mean, you can walk into a place that somebody's been in previously, wound them up to hell, and then you're going to cut for it.
Well, I'm sure that's another kind of attack too. Amateur group goes in, stirs up the place, and then all of a sudden, people that go in, they have to fix it, get attacked.
You must find that up. You must have done, Ian. If somebody has had somebody in before you.
Yeah, we've done several of
them. Sort it out.
I mean, the problem is you get people that go in and say, you've got a ghost, and then they go. But if you do private cases, you can't do that.
No, it's not a one-time.
You've got to stay there until you resolve the problem.
Yeah. I'm getting messages in. That's why I'm looking down and clicking.
But I mean, what I was telling you about before, Eric, with my chain. I mean, I suppose that's a sort of attack, isn't it? But you'll like this, Nettie. We went to the Kent Life Museum on Saturday night, and it's like an area where they educate kids about how farming was like back in the old days. But they've transported 5 buildings there,
Oh,
and it just so turns out all 5 are haunted.
oh, great.
And anyway, in 3 places, my chain was being messed around with. And in the 3rd time it happened, somebody actually saw it riding up my neck.
Oh, wow.
And when I got home, my chain had turned round. My clasp was the opposite way round to what it should have been, which is physically impossible. So I'm still trying to work that one out.
It should automatically do subtitles. I don't know why it wouldn't. I get your friend cleansed at a shrine because he was so sick after his investigation got so bad he nearly died. Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard of that too, you know, something killing somebody on an investigation. Well, it happens very rarely, but still.
Yeah, there was that Indian investigator, wasn't there? Something
I think
weird
so.
happened to him. They still don't quite know what happened.
Yeah.
Have you ever been anywhere in that you've not been able to remove it or
Or help.
in any way, and it's just carried on?
Not so much we haven't been able to deal with the problem, but we've got a couple of situations where there is a mediumistic child in the house. So you deal with one problem and then they bring something else home.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's just constant.
yeah. Well, that can't be stopped. That's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, fortunately, we've managed to deal with most problems. I mean, a lot of them doesn't mean getting rid of what's there.
Yeah.
It's
No.
educating people to what's in their house,
Yeah.
or in a lot of cases, it's what's there has an issue, and you resolve it somehow. So
Yeah, I'll learn to get along with it. Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, luckily we haven't had that many we've had to forcibly remove, but
It's a bit high. No, I don't even know who that is. Some people, Mark thinks I look like Doc Brown from, oh my gosh. Now it goes out of my head. Yep, Back to the Future.
It does a bit, actually, doesn't it? A little bit.
You just need to get him a white fluffy wig.
Yeah, one of them wigs that sticks out. Although.
You can do that.
Yeah, I'll put a jacket on. I'll put a life jacket on. I can be. I'll be, what's his name? Yes. Yeah, we've had a few cases like that, and it's generally because people buy one, have a go, something happens, and they automatically fold it up, put it away, and forget about it.
Which is a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you
Or
think
burn
about,
it.
what do you think about
Yeah.
museums and what have you that collect loads of artifacts? Do you think you can have attached artifacts? Or we've got attachments to?
Yeah, I think items have attachments rather than actually being haunted.
Yeah, possibly. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the True Crime Museum in Hastings is very active, and it has a lot of lots of stuff from criminal things. It's got the acid containers from the acid bath killer in there.
Oh God.
The actual containers. There's quite a few things from the Krays in there.
Okay, Mark.
I've got the skull of the last man who was beheaded in France. That's in there as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, people have had contact with him.
Yeah.
But he was a serial killer, and sometimes his victims have made an appearance down there as well.
Really? Wow.
Can you imagine putting all them, all them attachments together in one place? The hell?
Yeah, they've also got
And that.
the lethal injection bed in there as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I
And
wonder.
it was a used one, so
I wonder if ghosts attack each other because of that. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
often wonder
possibly,
if from different eras can they see each other?
yeah. I mean, you get a lot of cases where members of the same family can't see each other, so it sometimes makes you wonder whether, depending on when they passed, whether they're in this. You get a lot of investigators have managed to bring them together.
Yeah.
Even estate jewelry and items handed down, and we are not allowed to sell them here. There are no stores here, and people don't sell items here. Wow.
They send them all over to the UK, probably.
Probably. Because I've always wondered that, because, people are talking, huh?
It's not something that I'd want anything with an attachment to it.
Well, no. And I mean, how do you know what you're bringing home? Like, you guys were talking before, we were talking before about bringing stuff home from, like Goodwill or one of those boot sales, How do you know what you're bringing home?
Yeah, you don't know, do you? No.
This will make you laugh. We had a case once where we discovered the source of the activity was a mirror, because we put the equipment in front of the mirror. It went mental. So I took the mirror off the wall, moved it into the next room, put the equipment back, nothing. Wow. Took the equipment to where I'd put the mirror, and it went crazy again. And I said to the woman, "Where did you get that mirror from?" Expecting her to say some sort of shop. She said, "No, someone gave it to me. It came from an asylum."
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Well, that's where I got grabbed at the back of the neck. It's called the asylum room, and it's full of things from the asylum.
Wow.
But I told her to get rid. She put it in her mum's garage for a long time, and then phoned me up and said, "I've got activity back at the house." I said, "What's changed then?" She goes, "Oh, well, Mum had to clear out of her garage, and the mirror's back in the house."
Oh.
I said, "Get rid of it."
Yeah, definitely.
And then again, that's another thing too. If you accidentally break it to get rid of it, are you releasing that spirit?
Yeah, don't break it. Put it in your bin and let it get broken at the tip, because it doesn't matter if they haunt the tip, does it?
No, they can stay there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
I don't. Okay.
No, but I've never seen that one before. No. Oh, Eric, you've not seen the dog in my picture, have you? In the mirrors.
No, I haven't.
I'll send you the picture. Pictures.
Yeah.
Even when they've been out on investigation, and we took some pictures in a different mirror in a location, and the dog was there.
Wow.
It was there as well.
We did a case quite a few years back for a girl in France. It was just her and her daughter a young daughter living in the place. We were doing it over video link, and we said to her, "Well, go around the house, take a few pictures, and then send us the pictures." And she sent me the pictures through, and I flipped through, and I said, "The picture you've taken with the mirror on the wall," I said, "can you take a picture of what exactly is opposite the mirror?" And she's like, "Why?" I said, "Just do it and I'll explain to you." So she took a picture.
Wow.
I said, "Well, that's nothing. That's what's it's not what I'm seeing in the mirror.
Mm.
And I blew the mirror up. So working out, there was a grey-haired woman in the background of the mirror. And I said, I know she's not real. And I was thinking you might have had something on a shelf or something that resembled it. But no. I said, this woman's got to be in the mirror, but at a distance back. She's only about 6 inches tall.
Right. Yeah.
So that was our case where we told him to get rid of the mirror.
Oh yeah, you can get all sorts of mirrors.
And luckily she just put it in the bin outside and let the bin men take it away. But
Yeah, best.
Really do it.
Isn't it? My mum was always terrified of mirrors because her mother-in-law, she didn't like her. And when she was dying, she said to me, Mum, you can have that mirror, but one of these days when you're going up the stairs, you're going to see me.
Yeah.
So it never went up. That was gotten rid of.
But
Yeah, we've had. I mean, we've been to lived in houses where we've had dogs that wouldn't go up the stairs.
yeah, my dog wouldn't go up the stairs of our house when I was growing up.
Yeah, and it was because they found out not too long after that somebody had hung themselves from the stairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dog knew. Dog could see.
Oh, what's this?
Yours are my biggest phobia.
Yeah, never have one opposite the other.
No.
Noreen. Yeah. And it's not a good idea to have one opposite your TV because basically your TV becomes a black mirror when it's turned off.
Yeah, I can see that.
I also love mirror scrying. I do like to do that.
I've had so many photos taken in mirrors on Investigate, even in my house. I took a photo in our hallway in the mirror, and then somebody stood behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Mirrors capture.
You know what? We're gonna have to try that one of these days, but I don't know. Now I'm afraid to. Noreen I had an incident when I was a child, saw something horrible in the mirror, and have had a fear ever since. I couldn't stare into a mirror.
Yeah, never stare too long into a mirror because you start doing scrying then.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything that's about will appear.
Oh yeah. I've always meant to do it and get it on camera. Leave the camera running.
Yeah.
And then play it back after and find out.
Wow. I've always been interested in scrying. I've also been interested in table tipping too, because I've never seen any of those here. So.
Yeah, that seems to be just a UK thing, doesn't it? Table
Yeah.
tip.
It's really interesting and weird.
Yeah, I've never actually done it myself, but I have seen it done. But yeah, it's a very weird concept.
You do have to be careful doing the scrying in the mirrors though, because you can trance out and then.
Yeah. Wow.
You do trance if you do it long enough. You do trance.
Probably why I don't stare into a mirror a long time. So.
Well, you don't have to spend too long there, Bright, doing your hair, do you? Neither do I, really. But there you go. But yes, I mean table tipping. I've seen investigations where they've let go of the table and it's just walked across the floor, and you think, wow, that's a bit.
Yeah, when that happens, you know, it's definitely there's something there, isn't there?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, when they take their hands off it, yeah.
Well, what is the point of it in the first place? I mean, how does it work is what I mean.
I think the idea is that they just, it's almost like a pendulum, isn't it? They will swing a pendulum in a certain direction to answer your question. And I think the table tipping's the same thing, isn't it? But they're probably going on the fact they can make chairs rock. The table's a simpler thing to do it with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just all put their hands on it and supposedly there's the rocks. But you've got some approach in your team that are doing it, you know what I mean? Otherwise,
it's pretty much just another type of divination, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, not one I've tried, but there you go. I've tried most.
It's not, but I'm not really interested in that.
And another one I haven't seen over here is the glass one where it goes from yes to no or whatever it is. You know, where you put just a finger on the glass and it's supposed to move like a Ouija board plant would.
Oh yes, no board, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should say that, because the times I have done Ouija boards on investigation, I have used a drawn out Ouija board with a perspex sheet over the top and used a brandy glass, because if somebody's pushing it, the brandy glass will tilt, so it gives away that somebody's pushing it. But if it's moving on its own, it will stay flat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can eliminate anybody else actually doing it, whether they're doing it knowing about it or not.
Wow.
But that completely eliminates it. I find it better to do with a glass than with a planchette, to be honest.
Yeah, because you'd think that it would stick if pressure was on one side, it would tip over, like you said. So,
but a brandy glass is typically, because you've got the short glass and then you've got the wide base. So any pressure on that base, if you just put your fingers on the edge of it, any pressure on that base, it will automatically tilt.
Oh wow!
So then you know someone's pushing it.
That's a good way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
And then the human pendulum too. I've seen that over there. That's something I've never seen over here.
Nah, I've never done that either. I've never seen people do it, to be honest. I've seen it on the telly, but I've never actually seen it.
I've seen people do it. I'm not a big fan of that either, to be honest.
Although similar to a pendulum, a human pendulum, I suppose, we were on an investigation once, and we were standing in the room, and unbeknown to all three of us, we were swaying.
Wow!
We sort of looked at each other. Why are we swaying?
You know, that reminds me of seasickness, or that when you walk into a house that has odd steps or something like that, where you kind of just, I don't know.
Oh, I went to an haunted place once like that. It was like that, up and down, and it was like it was like being on the sea.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was that disorientating at one point. I came out.
Yeah, you get a lot of especially in the UK, I presume, because we got houses from years back.
Yeah.
And some of the floors are a bit.
Yeah.
You walk in a room and automatically feel like you're drunk, but there you go.
Wow. And one of my weird questions was about basements over there too, because we have basements in our oldest house over here. We have basements, but over there, some of the houses don't have basements. I'm like, okay.
I would say most houses these days don't have basements.
Really?
But the old cellars.
The houses that tend to have basements in the UK were probably they're probably from the Victorian and Georgian era.
Okay.
Anything after that, you won't have a basement.
Wow.
Yeah, they've got the really old houses, aren't they?
Because the basements used to be the servants' quarters.
Okay.
And so we don't have servants these days. So we're sort of no need for a basement anymore. But there you go.
Mind you, to be honest with you, I don't think I'd like a cellar.
No?
No.
I'll have to think of that when I get a
Well,
place.
What's down the cellar?
But again, you guys don't get a lot of tornadoes either, so.
No,
No.
true.
No.
I think my cousin sent me a picture once where they had one going down their road in London.
Yeah.
That was quite a rarity.
Wow.
I watched a video once, and it was on YouTube. This fellow just done his garden really nicely, and next thing you know, something went and tore it up. But it only did it to that garden.
Jeez.
That one.
That was act of God. That wasn't a tornado.
That
That was somebody in the place.
Yeah, I don't like the way you've done that. Do it again.
Oh, can you imagine how annoyed that would be?
Has anybody ever dealt with the Fae at all? Have you had a problem with that in any house or anything like that?
With what?
With the Fae?
The thing.
No,
No?
I haven't. No, I've come across elementals,
Yeah.
but not the Fae as such. We have a few elementals hanging around in this town, but we have our mutual friend Mr. Crowley to thank for that.
Of course.
But yeah, there's quite a few tunnels running under the town, and they tend to hang around in them. So,
Yeah. Can I get into the tunnel?
some places you can.
Okay. This
Uh, They broke into one and built a supermarket in the town. And I was speaking to somebody that works there, and we're down in their storage area. They went in there one day to get something, and all the barista tables were stacked on top of each other, completely to the ceiling. Impossible for anyone to do it. And then another time they walked in there was a ball just bouncing on its own in the middle of the room.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Yeah, you've definitely got something." And I had a look at the area, and I said, "Well, I said, is there anything on the building plans that said when they were putting the foundations in, they broke it into a tunnel?" And he said, "Oh, I'll have to have a look at that." But I said, "I'm presuming that's what's happened."
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, I mean, a lot of houses are built on land. A lot of things have happened. Don't they? We just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the unfortunate thing with anywhere in this country is practically anywhere you build a house, there's probably a body somewhere.
Well, yeah, can imagine. Such a, well, I call it small, but compared to America. But yeah, you got more history than us going, except for our Indians going way back, and all those wars and all those bodies being buried underneath the ground, you don't know where.
Yeah. Well, not like the UK where we had a past king found under a car park.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Didn't they move him recently though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've moved him. Yeah, he's now in a tomb.
Okay.
But yeah, they build a car park anywhere over here.
You can imagine.
Yeah, when they were building the metro, yeah, they were pulling up loads.
Yeah, and the same with the London Underground, wasn't it?
The old pits, the old
Plague pits.
yeah, you chuck them in, you know. When they had disease, what have you?
I was investigating a case once in Kent when there was a spirit that was in one of the plague pits, and the next door neighbour to the house I was investigating pulled out a big bush that was great. He just cleared the garden, and as he pulled this big bush up, a skull come with it.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Well, I said I didn't see that.
Put it back. Put it back. Say though, when you come up with things like that, though, then when the police are going to come and dig it all
Yeah.
up.
Mm.
I said if I was you, I wouldn't touch it because if that's out the plague pit.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't survive that long. I mean, something like that would die out after so many times. Even though there is cases of actual plague in foreign countries, I think Africa and some parts of Asia still have it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I can imagine
Yeah.
pulling something
I
out
mean-
of the ground.
Lorna said about allowed to build where boat. The problem is in the UK, where the plague pits were, they never kept records of them.
Yeah, can imagine.
No.
Yeah, I think they just uncovered one just recently too.
Oh, they're always uncovering them. Yeah, it's just,
I mean, it's not
They
just
go, "Oh, yeah."
plague, it's cholera, isn't it? And all that lot.
yeah.
I mean, you probably got bodies on top of bodies. Well, that was London at one time.
Yeah, I mean, what was that thing the cows had? Anthrax. We've got a field near us that they can't build on it because all the cows were buried in it that had anthrax,
Oh wow.
so they could never build on it.
No.
It is
No.
weird.
We pulled up all sorts.
But, yeah, they obviously decided to keep a record of that one.
I'd hope so. Anthrax is the most dangerous substance in the world, almost.
Yeah.
I think
But,
out there, the stadium, Manchester City Stadium up here, that's built on a pit, and they reckon there's about 80,000 people in there
Wow.
that will put
Okay.
into that.
I do. Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? 80,000. Jeez.
That was just one pit,
Yeah.
just
I
one.
mean, can you imagine how many people are actually buried in plague pits? I mean, the population went down by a bloody hell of a chunk, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
Imagine.
I mean, it was more than half the population got wiped out by it.
yeah. There was all sorts of disease that just took them out. Didn't it? I mean, I know in London, at one point, the body count got so high that they commissioned a station, and the train was just for taking bodies out
Yeah.
of the place.
Wow.
Because they were
Wow.
burying, apparently they were bloody like where it should have been at the ground level like that. It was up here, where they were putting bodies on top of bodies.
It makes you wonder if half the hills we've got in the country.
Well, plague pits, yeah, I can imagine.
Digging in them.
Well, I heard you guys talk about the London Underground the other day. We were talking about that, or somebody was talking about it. And can you imagine all the bodies that they found digging that out just to make the train?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
some of the disused side of the London Underground is one of the most haunted areas.
Yeah, that's for another place I want to go. So many places I got to go.
Well, I think you need special permission to get down there.
I've seen some YouTube
Yeah.
videos, the ones in Piccadilly, Manchester, underneath there.
Yeah. Wow.
Another,
Because it was
yeah, you've got the London sewers, the Victorian sewers. That you want to see them. It's almost like over architected buildings under there. It's like almost like a city underground.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. I've seen some pictures of it a long time ago, but wow. Aren't there still people living down there too?
They used to be used as air raid shelters.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm not sure if people would live. Well,
It must have been when you think about it, going back years, people who didn't have anything, didn't have anywhere to live, they'd be underneath there, wouldn't they?
yeah, what it is, Lorna, it's old lines they changed the route of the line, so certain parts of the underground are no longer used.
Hello,
So
Sue.
that's
This
the
is
only
Bill
reason. Is that your sister?
That's my sister. My sister.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. It's,
Oh, I don't know what Jim said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You confused me for a minute then.
Yeah, that confused me too.
But yeah, there are quite a few stations. It's not just London either. There are other parts of the country that've got unused underground railways. It's where they just changed the routes to make them more accessible to everywhere, and then they just abandon the old ones that don't get used anymore.
Well, I did find one place when looking at property. This guy had his desk in like it looked like an old castle wall type of thing, but it was just a bungalow, and it must have been right next to a hill or something like that. And you could see the bricks behind it, that looked like old castle bricks.
Yeah.
So it was really weird. And like, wait a minute, now does that go to the underground?
Yeah, I mean, we have some fabulous buildings down here that originally were built for one purpose and then get used for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they don't knock the building down; they just use it.
Hey, Rose.
Hello.
What's that? Are you from Manchester, Nessa? Yeah. Mad for it. Yeah, Manchester.
Yeah, she's definitely mad for it.
I'm mad.
Yeah, if you put the Happy Mondays on, she'll start dancing.
No.
What's the Happy Mondays? Now I gotta look that up.
They're a band. You'll like them, Eric.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's bad.
I gotta write that down.
In fact, was it one of the lead singers of the band is he's well known for saying the F word on TV because he just forgets where he is.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, have you heard of the band Gorillaz, Eric?
I might have.
Yeah, he was part of that band as well,
Oh, okay.
and they did a song. It was supposed to be called "It's There."
Yeah, really.
Because he's a Mancunian and he says it's there, they had to call the song "There"
Really?
just because of his accent.
I look
So
like
you
a,
in Blakely, North Manchester. Oh, right, yeah. Just
Did
down the road.
oh wow.
But yeah, they're not the only good band that came out of Manchester.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot I want to see, and there's a lot of comedians I want to see too.
Yeah, we've got some good comedians that don't care.
I know, right?
Ricky Gervais, you'll know of him. He doesn't care
Yeah.
about anything.
All the worst ones have all gone now, haven't they? They've all passed away. The good ones.
Oh,
Well,
Oasis.
Connolly's still going, isn't he? But,
Yeah, they're still going. Just recently
Oh,
got
when
to.
it's live.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys got coming up? So this is getting closer to an hour.
oh, I'm off out on another investigation this weekend. There's 2 weekends in a row. I'm meeting up with Barry Guy from Help My House Is Haunted to do.
Oh, that sounds good.
We're doing the True Crime Museum again for about the 7th time.
Are you going to be on TV yet?
No.
No?
Look,
Okay.
you can't even do a live feed from there. The signal is rubbish.
Really?
Yeah, as most places, I can't go.
It's
about
absolutely rubbish there.
How about you guys' shows? Are they coming up?
Yeah, on Friday we've got Mark Dudley for an interview Friday. Sunday Not too sure.
Uh-oh, she froze. Oh. Nettie, you're freezing.
Am I freezing?
Yeah, you're freezing. There you go. You're fine now.
That's the room.
I know it's cold in the UK, but that's no excuse.
That's a different kind of freezing. Well, Ian, since I haven't seen you in a long time, you get to pick this time.
Oh, all right.
There's only a few, so tell me when to stop.
Go on then. Now.
Oh, I only got one. Hey, you got lucked out.
Well, hey, last time you pulled 3 out.
Yeah. Historical. What? I don't even know what that is. Strength?
Circle of strength.
Historical. You know what? I don't even know what that means. So,
That's the one, Eric.
I don't know. Expeditions.
don't
That's what we'll do.
Don't know about that one.
We'll do expeditions. Because I don't know what historical. I don't even know why I wrote that down. So, I got to get new ones coming up soon. I imagine of the historical strength in countries. I don't know what that means. We can yell at Ian. No, you don't want to yell at Ian. I only have a few that he can choose from. Most of them are, I think, are, I don't know, not that great. I got to come up with better
I
ones.
think she's yelling at me at the True Crime Museum. But, yeah, I still wouldn't hear you. That's the problem. You wouldn't get me on signal. I mean, the problem is it's basically the back of the building is a cave into the cliff.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually where Aleister Crowley had an altar. So,
Really? Wow.
So, yeah, he makes his presence sometimes down there, and
Got to do a show on him.
yeah.
Definitely.
But if I bring his cards out, he might actually appear.
Oh, wonderful.
That'd be nice to see.
He
I know
has,
we all say that, but not cool for you, though.
Well,
yeah,
be all right
Yes.
for us here, but you know.
he has turned up on investigations when we've been at properties he's connected to. He has turned up, made himself known.
Wow.
Michelin Priory, Coombe Abbey, Warwick Castle.
Wow.
I've yet to get to a few other places that he dealt with. But anywhere he has a connection with, he tends to make an appearance. And I haven't been able to charge him for petrol yet, so
Yeah, that was another thing that was weird to me, that they sell petrol by the liter. Right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what we pay for a litre is what you probably pay for a whole tank.
Yeah,
Oh, I believe
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah, I think to fill my car up is about £100.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Tax, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tax for everything. You're taxed on your tax.
And
Pay
you-
tax. They'll tax you on that as well.
and they tax you when you die as well.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, my mind was just blown just finding out about the TV tax. I'm like, what?
No, you won't have to pay that, Eric. Because that
No.
will be.
That's TV license, yeah.
Yeah, TV license.
That's minimal. That's like £12 a month. But
Well, still.
Not in my case.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Well,
watch TV. I don't watch TV, therefore I'm not doing that.
yeah, they tax you on your income here, and then they tax you on everything else. We've even got sugar tax. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
There's tax on sugar in your drink, in your fizzy drinks.
Really?
If they could find an excuse to tax us for air, they would.
Jeez.
Here, you just get your wages, Eric, and you go, yeah, you might as well have it. Hey, go on. because you're not left with a lot after it.
Well, I know I'll have to pay taxes in 2 places, especially 5 years from now when I become a citizen.
I don't know what it's like in America, but when you die over here and you leave loads of stuff to your family, they bloody tax you on that and all.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It's called inheritance tax. Yeah, serious.
Well, I'm sure they do here for inheritance tax, but not like that. I mean, you have to be making like my family. I'm getting an inheritance trust, so that's all taken out of there. So
Ridiculous, isn't it?
tax on windows, yeah, I heard about the window tax.
Yeah, you just brick them up, mate. They don't charge you for it. Then.
Yeah, so I agree. The people have been boarding them up or bricking them up. Or...
That's why you find a lot of old houses with windows bricked up.
Oh, really? Wow.
You look at them from the outside and think, well, there used to be a window there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if they live in a house with a spare room, bedroom tax.
Really?
If they're not working and they live in a house that's got a spare bedroom, they have to pay bedroom tax.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to relook on what I'm getting for bedrooms then, won't I?
No, because you'll be paying for it. So
that's right, because you're buying the house, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm buying a condo, or not a condo, bungalow in England. And
you won't pay tax on that then.
Okay. But I am buying a flat in Scotland, so I'll probably get taxed on that.
Yeah.
you love the tax.
Well, it's cheaper. It's cheaper in Scotland anyway.
Okay.
Everything's cheaper in Scotland.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
Alcohol, salmon. Yeah, you get Scottish salmon. Yeah.
Iron brew.
I'm
I'm going to be drinking a lot of that. So, all right. Well, that's the hour. So, thank everybody for joining. And I'm stretching. Yes. All right. We'll say good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, I get there.